Everybody ready? At this time, we call the Vergne Planning Commission, October 27th, regular meeting, 6 p.m. to order. At this time, with a quorum present, have approval of the minutes.
Chairman, I make a motion we accept as submitted.
We have a motion to accept as submitted. We have a second.
I'll second.
We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And it's accepted. At this time, on other businesses, we have a motion for once a year to nominate and elect a chairman for a one-year term. At this time, we'll take the nominations for this time.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to nominate Chairman John Rutledge.
I'll second.
All right, at this time, we have a nomination for vice chairman to be chairman for a one-year term, and we have a second. Any more at this time? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Mr. Chairman, I will turn it over to you. Thank you, sir.
Second on the agenda, motion to nominate and elect the vice chairman for one-year term. Have the table open.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to nominate for Vice Chairman Calvin Jones.
I'll second.
Have a nomination and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Easy, Mr. Jones. We're playing roulette chairs. Yeah, settle down for a while.
We have a motion to nominate and elect a secretary for one-year term.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate for Secretary Graham Coates.
Second.
We have a motion to elect Mr. Graham Coates and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, gentlemen. Mr. Frank.
Sit beside me,
The next item we have on the agenda tonight is a site plan for Rock Springs Church. This item has actually been deferred until next month, along with the Board of Zoning request.
Okay. Number 5, recommendation from Mayor and Alderman Board to rezoning request property 120 Glendale Drive, tax map 18A, Group A, parcel 10.01, 10,702 square foot lot. Current zoning is C2, Highway Service District, proposed zoning R3, high density residential. Rezoning requested by Ed Goff.
Yes, sir, Chairman. This item has also been deferred until next month. Got the deferral in writing on the presentation.
And you want to take over number 6?
Yes, sir. The next item is ordinance change for outdoor display. This is requested by an alderman. We've looked at some other cities and try to find what they do on this item, and we kind of paralleled their zoning ordinances on this. So we took some sections out of a number of cities on this, and I think there's a question at the workshop on some of the what state law allows for display, and Tommy, I think, was going to speak on that a little bit.
The state law on this, the statutes regulate offensive displays, but as far as the ordinances go, you can't regulate something based on content alone. But now the state statutes, again, they do regulate offensive material, and offensive is defined, whether it be of a sexual nature or of a violent nature. But short of that, if it's something that's not offensive, then it cannot be content regulated.
Any more questions, gentlemen?
You're saying the state law, we cannot regulate, the contents they display outside?
That's correct. Absent what's covered in the statutes regarding what can and cannot be displayed. And even some of that only addresses what can be displayed to minors.
So with the changes, or suggested changes, to the outdoor display, how does that tie in to content? Or does it?
It's, you're talking about in the bold?
Yes, the change, the suggested changes. It just says outdoor display, that doesn't define any items. Is that verbiage or the first sentence?
I don't think that's regulating the content.
Well, who makes the judgment on the displays outside then? Who would be making the judgment call whether it would be of a sexual nature or a violent nature?
Well, obviously the legislative body of the municipality would make a decision whether or not they thought it was appropriate. If there were ever any questions about that, if ever went to court, it would be up to a judge to decide. It would be a legal decision at that point.
Then, Mr. Chairman, I'll make a favourable recommendation to send on to Mayor Alderman for the changes as indicated.
I have a favorable recommendation. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
I have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letters and bonds of credit.
Mr. Chairman, everybody should have a sheet in front of them that, with the most current bonds and the status of those. We got a few that expire October 31st. I actually got one in today to renew that for a year, and the other one is supposed to be on its way. So those should be renewed, and I've already contacted the developers on the ones that's expired in November, and they're in the process of getting those renewed or extended also.
Ask you a question on these first two right here, that they're 100% complete. What's holding up?
We're just trying to, if you remember, we put something on the agenda about changing some stuff about the sidewalks, things like that, to make sure we can close these out as they're 100% stuff. So that's, as soon as we get those changes, we'll probably start bringing in the ones that are 100%, stuff like that.
We don't want to get behind you.
No, that's, we
Y'all
definitely,
doing a great job keeping up. Is it getting a little easier now?
I think as soon as we get these that you're talking about that are 100%, I think it'll start getting easier at that point, once we start eliminating some of these.
Anything else, gentlemen? I'll now turn this over to the mayor.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate that. You know, mayors always like a few little minutes of TV time. You don't give them much sitting over here in the corner. But, I just want to take a few minutes here. Mr. John King. John, come up here and talk to me for a few minutes. I want to recognize you. Mr. King been on the planning board, the zoning appeal board for 14 years. Not only done a lot for the city, he's been a good citizen and a good neighbor, and I appreciate that. But we want to take a few minutes to board here. It's their ideal. We want to make sure to just take a couple minutes to thank you, because 14 years is a long time. Grant hadn't been here 14 years. I don't know if he'll ever make 14 years, I mean, but we hoping he will. But we just want to thank from the mayor and alderman. The vice mayor was trying to get here, and the rest of them, they couldn't make it, but they was going to come here tonight. And but I think Mr. Walden here's got your little plaque here. Oh, we will. Just recognize, appreciate for the 14 years from the city of Laverne and the planning commission here. And thank you again, Mr. King.
Thank you.
Outstanding job.
Appreciate it. I appreciate this very much. I have to truth to say, I've been on the board a long time and dealt with a lot of people, but this is the best. This board has really come a long ways, and I appreciate it.
We appreciate you. Thank you, Mr. King.
Thank you.
With that, we call the meeting to adjourn.